Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, and now let's see what's behind this door. A man was taking his evening stroll when he noticed something strange. As he walked along, he saw that his shadow was dancing in a way that did not match his own steps. He stopped and stared at his shadow. At first he thought he was going crazy. Was this some kind of a joke played by his friends? But no, there was no one around. It was just him and his weird shadow. He decided to walk faster now, but the more he tried to get away from his shadow, the more it seemed to mimic his every move. Fear began to grip him. What if it wasn't just a shadow? What if it was something else entirely, something dark and sinister? Then he had an idea. Maybe if he ran, his shadow would stop following him. So he started to run, but his shadow kept pace with him, always mimicking his movements exactly. The man stumbled and fell to the ground, gasping for breath. His heart was pounding in his chest. He looked up at his shadow and screamed. It was growing longer and thinner, stretching out like a dark, slimy worm. The man scrambled back, knocking himself on the wall behind him. He was trapped. His shadow loomed over him, its edges blurring at the sides like an oil painting gone bad. It was no longer just a shadow. It was a living thing. The man closed his eyes, waiting for the inevitable. What was this thing? Where did it come from? Why was it after him? Did it want to hurt him? Questions raced through his mind, but there were no answers. When he opened his eyes again, he found himself in a dark and narrow alley. The buildings on either side of him were tall and imposing, their windows like vacant eyes staring down at him. He was completely alone. As he turned to leave, he saw it. His shadow was gone. Had it been a dream? A nightmare? Had he imagined the whole thing? He couldn't be sure. From that day on, the man never took another evening stroll. He was too afraid of what might be lurking in the shadows. He spent his days indoors, hiding from the darkness. But the darkness, or maybe just his shadow, never came for him again. The man grew old and weak. His hair turned white as snow and his skin like wrinkled paper, but he never ventured outside again. He was too afraid. One day, many years later, a young girl was playing near the same alley where the man had encountered his shadow. She was skipping and singing, her laughter echoing through the narrow space. Suddenly she stopped. She could have sworn she heard a voice that seemed to come from the darkness itself, whispering her name. She turned and ran, her heart pounding in her chest. As she turned to look back, she saw it. Her shadow was dancing in the middle of the alley, swaying from side to side like a living thing. It beckoned to her, calling her closer. The girl hesitated. She was scared, but she was also curious. What was her shadow doing in the middle of the alley? Why was it dancing? She wanted to go to her, but her feet felt heavy, like they were made of stone. She couldn't move. Then the shadow started to move again, slithering towards her like a snake. The girl screamed and ran, not daring to look back. She could feel the shadow's presence behind her, its cold touch sending shivers down her spine. As she ran, she heard the voice again, this time closer, whispering sweet nothings in her ear. She didn't know what it wanted, but she knew she had to escape. The girl burst out of the alley and into the sunlight. She was safe. She turned to look back, but the shadow was gone. The voice was silent. As she stood there, catching her breath, she knew that she had just escaped something terrible, something that had been lurking in the darkness, waiting for her. And that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe.